Okay, a very good morning to each one of you. Thank you for joining us on our basic skills for online exams, my exam training. I'm sure by now many of you are into your exams and the stress is on. And we wish you all the best as you commence this examination. But remember, just be focused, take it one day at a time, and you will get through this session. Our main goal is to help you with some of the technical skills to ensure that you don't need to stress about the technical skills and you have the flexibility and the ease to focus on the more critical aspects. So, part of this training is really to provide that core digital skills that you need to navigate the basics of the My Exams platform and to ensure that you are competent enough to conduct the upcoming examination. My name is Denzel Chetty, and I lead the Academic Development Open Virtual Hub, which houses and hosts these core training sessions. Together with me, I have my colleagues. Firstly, co-director of this program today, Ms. Sophie Mubasa, who's our sign language interpreter. Welcome, Sophie, and thank you very much once again for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you with us. With us, we also have Erica Dutoy, who is from the Invigilator app, and thanks, Erica, for joining us as well. We also have with us some of the ADOV colleagues, Dr. Salosh Govender, Professor Sheila Mahulele, Jessica Nell, Richard Wright, who will be taking over from me shortly and walking us through the program. And then we also have Ms. Jessie Sofolo from the Student Communication Department, who's also provide some strategic information for you on how to contact the Student Communication Center. And Jessie, it is always a pleasure to have you join us with the sessions, and we really appreciate the time as well. And so with this, colleagues, we wish you all the best in this program that we have scheduled for you today. Remember that it is your session. So if you need any questions, if you need any answers that you are really looking for, use this opportunity, post your comments in the chat. And we have, as you can see from our lineup, really skilled colleagues that will help you navigate these critical spaces and walk you through that. So please feel free, post your comments, post your questions, and we will engage you further. Let me hand over now formally to Richard. Richard Wright is an educational technologist in the Academic Development Open Virtual Hub and a key member in terms of these current trainings that we are offering. Thank you very much, Richard. Welcome back, I should say, as well, from your long week off. We look forward for this session. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Denzel. So students, we've got quite a big program to work through. But before we get started, let's just get a message from our Executive Director for DTSFL. That's student support and to facilitation of learning to really also motivate you for the examinations.
Greetings, dear students. I am Professor Mahanu, the Acting Executive Director in the Department of Tuition Support and Facilitation of Learning. On behalf of ADOF, which is one unit in our Department of Tuition Support and Facilitation of Learning, I want to say our warm wishes for your exams that are coming. We know that you are experiencing a myriad of challenges. We are cognizant of what you are going through in different contexts, in different regions, and also different places across the globe. But we want to say, as a student of UNISA, Also, we know that you are resilient and no problem is bigger than you. Manage these challenges that want to deter you, that want to take you off path, and make sure that you make use of every little opportunity. Study hard, contact your module leader when you are experiencing challenges related to the academic matters, and contact the support department for any challenge that pertains to administrative matters. But we wish you all the best from DTSFM and Adolf. May all of you pass. Thank you.
So with that, we can get started. So as you can see, we're basically going to cover all the topics regarding the examinations. So just for those that have perhaps joined a blast session previously, where we focused more on assisting you, in this session, we will cover basically all the material that you need to know to conduct your exam successfully. So we'll just start off how to access the support site, and then how you access the myExams platform, the different types of assessment, why academic integrity is so important before we dive into the various proctoring tools that's being used by the universities. We'll have a look at some of the recommended devices for the examination, how you can access the mock exams, and then finally also where do you go for support during the examinations, from the Student Support Contact Center, and also the support provided for students with special needs and the procedure that you need to follow to apply for that. Lastly, we will have an introduction from Lawazi, the online assistant that's there to support you as well with any questions that you have regarding the exams on the support platform. So firstly, I want you to complete the pre-course assessment. The pre-course assessment link is in the chat. It's also, if you're watching on the support platform, it's underneath the link to the video. So just have a look for the link. Please complete the pre-course assessment, and then afterwards complete the post-course assessment. This really helps us to see what is your understanding coming into the session and also leaving the session. And if there's any gaps that we still need to work on as well, to make sure that we provide you with all the information you need. Now, firstly, let's have a look at how do you access the myExam support site. So if you're watching live currently on the support site, you're already there. The programs, all of that link to the support site, but you can take your phone at the moment, scan the QR code if you want to open it up on your mobile device, or you can save the link at the bottom. It's bit.ly/myExamsGuide. Just note the E and the G is uppercase and the URL is case sensitive. But we also put the link in the chat for you to quickly get access to it. So let me just show you what the platform looks like. So once you access adovh.unisa.ac.za, so this is an open platform where there's a lot of courses to help support you with your studies. But the one that we will be looking at today is STU 200 Basic Skills for Online Exams. So as you can see, you can access the site without logging in. But if you're going to do any of the mock exams, participate in any of the activities, please click on the login button at the top right. Now, since you are a UNISA student, you simply need to click on yes, and this will take you to the login. So the Microsoft login, the same one you use for my modules, the same one that you will be using for your examinations as well. So if you're currently on the live events page, so we are streaming live to this page. If you have any questions, please click on the Teams link at the bottom and you can come and join us in the Teams session as well. But if you're having difficulty joining with Teams, you can follow along on the live broadcast. And then at the bottom is the links that I mentioned for the pre-course assessment. Please complete this before we commence with the workshop and then also a post-assessment to be completed. So let's start off with the topic. So the first one will be, how do you actually access your online exams? And for you that's perhaps new to UNISA, the exams are happening on a different platform. So it doesn't happen on my UNISA or my modules. It happens on myExams. Now to access myExams is very easy. You open up my UNISA. You don't even need to log in. You look for the myExams button under important links. This will open up the myExams portal, where you have to select the date on which you will be writing and then select the module. And this will open up your college's instance for that specific exam. Now here, I just want to highlight, we had a question where somebody, when they logged into the exams, said that the user account was not created. But the problem was they clicked on any of the modules that they saw as available just to open the exams portal. Each college has its own exam portal. So if you don't click on the correct module, you will be directed perhaps to an incorrect college where you're not a member of. So just be aware of that. So once you logged in, you sign in with your MyLife email address, myUNISA password, and you will have access to the modules you have access to write exams for. So just to show you again quickly, so under important links, there is a myExams. You click on that, it will list the dates of the exams. Just note, it's only today's date and 4 days in advance. So if you're writing in 5 days, it will not appear yet. But I do recommend that at least 4 days before your exam, come and click on the link, click on your module to open up the exam portal where you can log in. Make sure you are able to log in. Now remember, to log in, it's very easy. It's your MyLife email address followed by your myUNISA password. Then if this is your own device, you can click on yes. But remember, if you're using a public desktop perhaps, remember to rather select no, as you don't want anybody else to get access to your account. Now just be aware, two-factor authentication has been brought in this year. So you might have to receive a code to your phone that you need to log in. But what you can also do is download the Authenticator app from Microsoft. So you go to Google Play or the iOS store, look for the Microsoft Authenticator app, and then you only need to log in once. And you can then from there on just get the code here every time you're prompted. So you don't need to wait for an SMS or receive a phone call. So once you're logged in, this platform will look exactly almost like My Modules, except at the top it will say My Exams. You click down, you select the module you'll be writing, and then it will open up this page over here. Now I just want to highlight here, there is an announcements button, there's an additional resources button, and then the assessment. So you can access this 4 days before your exam already. Make sure you've got access. And the additional resources, if you, for instance, going to be using the Invigilator app, you can already download the QR code for it, but obviously you won't have access to the actual assessment. So let's just have a look at the steps quickly, just to make sure that you are familiar with them. So on myUNISA, click on My Exams. You select the date that you will be writing. So say I will be writing on the 3rd. I can open that one up. You select the module that you will be writing. So remember, each college has different myExams instances. So make sure to select the correct module. I select then to sign in. So because I signed in recently, it goes through automatically. If it's your first time, you have to go through the Microsoft sign-in. So as you can see, this looks exactly like my modules, except it's my exams at the top, and you will have access to the modules that you will be writing. So remember, usually the assessment is at the bottom right, and there will be announcements and an additional resources page. And I really recommend before the exam, have a look through additional resources for any additional instructions or for instance, the QR code that you need for the Invigilator app if you will be using the Invigilator app. Now, let's look at the assessment types. So currently, there are three main assessment types that you might find on your exams timetable. The two main ones that we will be looking at today is MCQ exams and take-home exams. So if we look at these, MCQ exams are basically multiple choice questionnaires, and they use the quiz activity. So if you, for one of your assignments, already use the quiz activity, it works exactly the same, just with the proctoring and some additional measures that is put into it. But we will have a look at that as well. The take-home exams, think of this as a written exam. So this is where you download the question paper, you write it out. Afterwards, you scan it in and upload it, or you save your Word document as a PDF and upload it to the myExams portal. So this uses the same tool, the assignments activity that you perhaps used in one of your assignments where you had to type out, for instance, an essay and upload. Now there is another one, module arrangement, that you will find also on your exams timetable. Now, as this mentions, this is by module arrangement. So these ones will not happen on the myExams platform. These are arranged by a module. So these are generally continuous assessments, things like portfolios that you perhaps need to submit. And all of this happens on my modules where you submit it. And you won't be proctored for these type of assessments. So just be aware, if you see module arrangement, most likely you will also not have a date on your exam, myExams timetable. But go and have a look at the announcements on your course. Go through the tutorial letter to make sure exactly how the module will be assessed. Now, while we work through this material, if you want to follow along at home as well, we are working through the lessons. So for instance, the first one is lesson 1, navigating the myExams portal. So all the steps are on here with step-by-step instructions and short videos. So we're looking now, for instance, at lesson 2, where we covered the various assessment types. And at the bottom, we've also got additional pages with step-by-step instructions with a short video as well. But when we get to the mock exams, we will walk through each of these to show you exactly how it works. Now, before we're going to get into the proctoring tools, we're first going to hear from the exams committee why academic integrity is so important. And then we're going to hear from Mrs. Jessica Nell or Dr. Nell about how you can prevent academic dishonesty.
Hello everyone, my name is Pindwe Kamlani and I'm the chairperson of UNISA's Online Examination Committee. We are approaching the examination season, which is a difficult period as you prepare for your final examination. To prepare you for your online examinations, we have prepared a step-by-step guide to guide you through your examination sitting. We have also prepared for you a mock examination in order to test your readiness. You can also attend training where you'll have an opportunity to ask questions that you may have in preparing for your online examinations. In tightening our controls, UNISA has introduced proctoring tools in order to authenticate your identity and record your surroundings. That being said, we have noted an increase in solicitation of our students through SMSs by third-party suppliers, enticing our students to write on their behalf. While UNISA has opened up a case with the Hawks in order to investigate how these suppliers have received our student details, we have assured ourselves through data that majority of our students have not participated in such fraudulent activities. However, we have identified that there has been some students who have shared their login details with these suppliers. In some cases, these students have purchased scripts from the said suppliers. Our measures of identifying academic dishonesty has proven to be effective, as over 97% of students who have been identified have received sanctions of between 1 to 3 years from the university. These students can no longer proceed with their academic year and will have to wait until the sanction period lapses before completing their studies. Students will also not be able to register at other South African universities during this period. Having sat in disciplinary proceedings, students who have been identified have been remorseful and were unaware of the consequences of their action. Because the sanctions reflect on the student's academic record, it affects their employment opportunity and their professional integrity. We urge our students not to engage in such dishonest behaviors, as it is not worth it. Our stance is to protect all students' qualification, and we shall do so vigorously and unapologetically. We wish all our students all the best for their examinations and as they complete their qualifications with the leading African university, UNISA.
Thank you, colleague.
So with that message from the exam committee, I'm going to hand over now to Jessica that will take you through what is academic misconduct and how to prevent it. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, students, you might have pondered a little bit about what Ms. Kamalani was talking about, a lot of the students not being aware of what constitutes academic dishonesty. So we're going to give you a quick crash course here today. And in a nutshell, academic integrity is built around 6 main values at UNISA, not just UNISA, but pretty much every academic institution. Now, we all need to embrace these values of academic integrity, because if we don't, we all risk losing our credibility, which has serious consequences in the workplace. If employers start to doubt the value of your degree, that is going to be a huge problem for you and your future. So let's dig into these values a little bit. First off, we have honesty. Now, honesty is about being truthful and about giving credit where it is due. It's also about keeping promises and staying factual. Then we have trust. Now, how can you build trust as a student? To build trust, you must produce work that is honest and thoughtful and genuine. That means authentic to you, not something that you have found on the internet. When you act with sincerity, when you are true to yourself, you are promoting openness and you're encouraging understanding and building trust. Now, respect is yet another big one. That is about treating not just yourself, but others with dignity. You show respect when you actually take on these opportunities to learn, like what you are doing here today. You show respect when you take responsibility for your own education and you participate in a way that is fair and it is kind. And you show respect to others by listening to their feedback, by having open communication, and by understanding the impact of your actions on them. Then we have fairness. So as a student, you can demonstrate fairness by doing your own work, by citing your sources properly in your work, and respecting the university's rules and policies. Responsibility is a shared burden. It links closely with courage. Responsibility is about holding not just yourself, but others also accountable. That means knowing and following the rules and setting a positive example. You take responsibility when, instead of waiting for the information to come to you, you actively seek out the answers to your questions. That is responsible behavior. And finally, we come to courage. Now, this is when you have to uphold the highest standard of academic integrity. This takes a lot of courage, takes guts, because you are going to have to stand firm and stand up against any wrongdoing that you encounter and defend academic integrity. So there we have it. These are our 6 core values of academic integrity. Now, let's imagine that they aren't followed. Say, for example, a student cheats, or they hire someone to write their exam, or they copy someone else's work without giving credit. What happens if that student takes those habits into the workplace? This is going to have an impact on the clients of that workplace. Employers are not going to be lining up to hire someone who doesn't play by the rules. So if there is a disciplinary case on your academic record, an employer will think twice about offering you that job. Think of it like this chain reaction. If word gets out that students at the university don't uphold academic integrity, they don't engender these values, people might start to question the value of the degree. And that's not just bad news for the university, but for you as a graduate and for your fellow students as well. It puts everyone at risk. It risks the university from losing its accreditation with quality assurance bodies. It risks you not being able to be an active member in the workplace. The point being, it's not just about you. If any other student cheats, that can tarnish the value of your degree too. And that's why it's important we all uphold these values together. All right, so I've told you what academic integrity is. What is dishonesty? What is academic dishonesty? On the screen here, you can see a number of different ways that a student can fall prey to academic dishonesty. The most common one being plagiarism. That is where you take someone else's work, their ideas, or their expressions as your own, and you don't acknowledge it. Then we have cheating. That's where you might use something like unauthorized materials, little cheat sheets, information or assistance as you are doing an assessment. Then we have collusion. This is where a student collaborates without authorization. So they are working in a group and then they present that work as their own, even though it's not the result of their own effort. It's not authentic. We have then the 3 F's. Falsification. Falsification is where you deliberately alter or invent or misrepresent data or information or citations in academic work. That's where you pretend to have done the research, you make a fake citation, and that is falsification. Fabrication, on the other hand, is where you falsify or invent any information or citation in an academic assessment. Then we have facilitation of dishonesty. This is where you help another student to commit an act of academic dishonesty. Now, you might not think that you would ever do that, but if a student reaches out to you and says, hey, what page number can I find this answer on? And you tell them where to look, you are assisting in facilitation of dishonesty. Then there is impersonation or third-party assistance. That is assuming another student's identity, or alternatively, allowing someone else to pretend to be you in completing any academic work. Now we have our last one, and this one's big on the boards at the moment, the unethical use of AI software. Now, using AI to generate or present work as your own, or in completing assessments or doing any academic activity without being told to use it, or even by not acknowledging it, that would be academic dishonest behavior. So I hope we've given you a nice rundown, but there's one more. Not using the invigilation software. Gone are the days where we are in a face-to-face environment, and UNISA is a fully online university. So in order to protect academic integrity, we have a number of invigilation or proctoring software that is there to protect integrity during exams. Whether it's Moodle for proctoring, Iris and CSET, or the invigilation app, it's crucial to use the right software, and not doing so constitutes a breach of academic integrity. Now let's talk a little bit about uploading your work at UNISA. There's also this specific time set at UNISA that is there for you to focus on getting your exam into the correct format and uploading it on myExams. When that clock runs out on the writing time, you are now in upload time. You have to stop, save your work, and get it submitted. If you continue to write during this uploading time, then that is breaching academic integrity. Now, what happens if you use that time to write and then you run into a technical error? Unfortunately, UNISA will not be able to help you. It's there, that time is there to help you iron out any potential issues you might encounter. So if you choose to ignore this rule, not only are you breaching academic integrity, but you take on the risk that you won't even be able to submit all the hard work of your exam. So what happens in the end if some form of academic dishonesty behavior has been picked up? First, the lecturer will typically pick it up first. They will identify plagiarism or cheating if it's not being picked up by the invigilation software. The lecturer will then gather all the necessary evidence. If it's being picked up by the software, the lecturer examines the results of that proctoring or invigilation. If it is plagiarism, they will be cross-checking the information in your exam submission against sources on the internet and in other academic articles. And once the lecturer has everything they need, the student is issued with a warning letter. At this point, that student can either decide to contest that warning letter or accept the charge. If the student does decide to contest the charge, they will go through to a formal hearing, and in this hearing, all the evidence is weighed up and it's determined whether the student is likely guilty or not. If the student is guilty, then sanctions will be put in place. What types of sanctions? There are quite a few, from minor to very, very severe, as you can see on screen here. Some might include just failing the assignment by being allocated a 0%. Depending on how severe, we can also have formal warnings to suspension or even being expelled from the university. And then we can also have something as extreme as the entire cancellation of all credits you've earned to date or your whole degree. And then, even worse, a criminal record, though that is typically reserved for those situations where there is buying and selling of exams in a syndicate type situation. So you can see quite a range of consequences. Now, how do you avoid it? Because the whole point is it's not about punishment. We really care for our students. We are here to guide you and to help you steer clear of dishonest behavior. So one of the chief bits of advice that we give to our students is to please study something that you love. Do not be swayed by family and friends to go and be a doctor if that is something you are not interested in. Choose something you're passionate about and you are much less likely to fall prey to academic dishonesty. Now, what about time management? Something I want to just brief you on is the notion of a credit. Sometimes you might have seen one module is 12 credits or 24 credits. Those credits, each one equals 10 hours of study. So if you have a 12 credit module, you have to devote around 120 hours of study to that module. Now imagine if you're taking on 5 modules, that is 600 hours of study. Are you able to devote that time in one semester, 600 hours, to ensure that you succeed in those modules? If not, please reduce the number of modules. Balance your studies, your work, and your home life. We also want you to know where to go if you need to practice certain skills. Now, you are studying a specific subject, but there are a lot of side skills that you need to know in order to be successful at an online university. Things like how to do your exams online, which you're here to do today. You are practicing your skills. But others might include how to do academic referencing so that you're acknowledging sources. Yet others might include how to use Microsoft Office software so that you're able to use Word and change it into PDF. So please, there are a number of academic support services that include academic integrity, tutoring classes, academic literacy classes. Go into myUnisa and you will see a number of schedules for student training to assist you with these skills. And lastly, please, if you are not sure about something, just ask for help. On the screen here, you see our counseling unit's email. That is counseling@unisa.ac.za. And they are there to support you and all students facing any personal, financial, or academic challenges. Reach out and we will be able to support you. Now, remember that last value of courage? Please, if you ever witness academic dishonesty, it is important to act. You can anonymously report any instance you come across to the whistleblowing hotline on 0800 07 5278, or you can email unisa@thehotline.co.za. It might seem a bit scary, but it's important to stand up for what's right, to have that courage, because in the end, academic integrity belongs to every single one of us. Think of it like a giant puzzle. Every person, every lecturer represents a piece, and everyone has a role to play. If just one piece goes missing, our picture isn't complete. So thank you everyone for being here today, and I'm going to hand it back to Richard.
Thank you, Jessica. Oh, sorry, let me just share the correct screen. For that insights into what is academic integrity and how to avoid any academic misconduct. So with that grounding, we can start diving into the proctoring tools and how you get ready to be using proctoring tools. And for this section, I will hand over to Mr. Harperstead. Thank you, David.
All right, good morning, Richard, and good morning, colleagues and students. Thank you for joining us today. All right, so as Richard said, I'm now going to continue. So if you did join a little bit late, of the chat, and from there you go and basic skills for online exams. So please do work through the lessons that we've already showed you guys. So we've done lesson 1 and 2. Now we're going to start tackling lesson number 3. It won't take you that long, students, but it will definitely give you the direction and understanding of exactly what's going to happen, how's it going to happen, to make sure that you are ready for your exam. Types, I'll show you the Moodle proctoring, which is the web which is built into Moodle. So you don't have to download anything, but we do need to test your webcam, and I'm going to show you that. And then we've got colleague app, and of course Iris as well.
Hey, David.
Of these, yes.
Your audio is cutting out quite a lot. I think it might be the connectivity. Should I rather take over?
Okay, good. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, thanks, David. So let me jump off where David ended. So if you are following at home through the various lessons that we are working through, so currently we're on lesson 3, proctoring tools. And here we cover all the proctoring tools being used by UNISA. But firstly, what you need to do is upload your profile picture. Now, this only happens on My Modules. So what you need to do is simply go log into My Modules. At the top right, you will see your username. Click on your username, click on your profile. This will open up the profile page. And from here, you need to click on Edit Profile. So if you scroll down on the Edit Profile page under User Picture, you select this little icon to upload a picture. So this can be from your phone or one that you have on your desktop. You select it through the browser, it uploads it, and finally you scroll down to the bottom to save it. So just note, when you click on this button to upload a picture. Remember, if you accidentally clicked on any of these on the left, like recent files, the page or the one that you need to select is upload a file. And then you click on choose file to upload a picture. Once your picture is uploaded, you can make sure that it's displayed correctly. Sometimes what happens if you take a picture of your phone in portrait mode, it tends to flip it. So just crop it into a square or take a landscape picture for it to upload correctly. And then once you upload it at the bottom, you can just click on save and your picture will be displayed. But what I want you to note here is if you go to My Exams, you just open up this page over here. So remember, when you're going to log into your exams, your picture will not display on the top right. As long as it shows on My Modules, you are good to go. But when you log into My Exams, it will not display there. It does not sync up. But the picture from My Modules is used with the proctoring tools, such as the Moodle proctoring, to ensure that it is you conducting your examinations. So that's why the picture that you upload also should be where your face is clearly visible. Then secondly, and I'll paste this link in the chat as well. If we go back to the proctoring tools section, we've got this, what proctoring tool will my module use? So this is very important that you need to confirm what proctoring tool you will be using. Remember, you will not be using more than one proctoring tool per module. It will only be one proctoring tool. So what you need to do on this page, let me paste it in the chat as well. So if you want to follow along, you want to check your modules. You just type in here your module code. So say MAT for mathematics. It will show me it's from the College of Science, Engineering, Technology, and it uses Iris proctoring. And you can actually click on here to take you directly to the Iris proctoring instructions. And if you're using, for instance, English, you will be using the Invigilator app. So make sure you type in here for each module to make sure what proctoring tools you will be using. Because, for instance, if you're not going to be using the Invigilator app, you will not be able to register on the app, as licenses are only bought for students that will be using it. And that applies to Iris as well. So just to get ready, remember, make sure your My Modules have your profile picture. If you forgot to do it as soon as possible, even if you've already written your exam. Exam proctoring lookup tool, use this to make sure what proctoring tool you will be using. So we went through the profile picture, we went through how to search for your modules, and I do recommend to do this even while we are here so that you can focus on that specific section of proctoring tools. Now, the university currently uses 3 different proctoring tools. So there's Moodle proctoring, that's generally used for multiple choice exams, Invigilator app, that's generally used for take-home exams, and then we've got Iris Invigilation, that's used for MCQ and take-home, but only by the College of Science, Engineering, Technology. So that means if you're outside of the College of Science, Engineering, Technology, perhaps education, human sciences, you will be using one of these 2 only, and you will be using Moodle proctoring for MCQ and Invigilator app for take-home. If you're in the College of Science, Engineering, Technology, you will not be using the above 2. You will only be using Iris, and you will use it for both MCQ and take-home exams. So this brings us to Moodle proctoring. So as we mentioned, only for MCQ exams, so that is used with the quiz activity. Now this one captures your picture via your webcam or your device camera. So if you're doing the quiz on your phone, it will use your phone's front-facing camera. If you're doing it on a laptop, it will use your laptop's camera. And if you're doing it on a desktop, you will require a webcam. Now, this proctoring tool works by taking pictures randomly about every 50 seconds. And it's used to make sure that it is you writing this MCQ type of assessment. So it doesn't record audio, doesn't record video, it just randomly takes a picture of you during the assessment. So let's have a look. I open up the Moodle proctoring section on the support side. So this is very easy. It will give you a message to show you that the webcam proctoring will take place and it will take pictures randomly during the quiz. Now you need to allow your camera. The first time you use this, there will be a pop-up in the middle of your screen on a mobile phone, or generally it's at the top left. Make sure to click it, else you will need to reactivate the louder camera before you can proceed. Now, as you can see, this looks exactly like a normal quiz where you click on attempt quiz now. The only addition is you need to agree to the validation process, and this is where your picture will show, your camera picture. From here, you simply click on start attempt, and then you work through the questions. Now, we've got a video as well to explain this, but I really recommend you do the mock exam that's at the bottom. So remember, for the mock exam, you need to be signed in. And the first time you access the site, any of the mock exams, you need to just click on the Enroll Me button. So from here, let's test out the mock exam. So as per normal examination, we'll give you the instructions. It will give you the time when it opens and closes. So make sure you start your quiz when it opens and finish before it closes. So I'm just going to click Reattempt Quiz. So from here, it will pop up the camera. So you can make sure that your face is clearly visible. You need to click on the agree with the validation process, and then you click on start attempt. Now you'll notice your webcam does display here on the left navigation. Remember, this doesn't need to be open the entire time. You can actually hide it. Say during your assessment, you get to the 20th question and suddenly this camera goes black. Do not worry about it. It's still actually taking the pictures in the background. It's just on some browsers, it causes that error. Now, another thing that we had students also asking, what must they do if there's a pop-up at the top where it says your face is not clearly visible, readjust your camera. Just have a look, make sure of your lighting. You can always put a light in front to put more lighting so your face is more clearly visible. But otherwise, the exam committee recommended that we give you the advice, also just continue as the pictures are still being taken. The sensors are just very sensitive. So if you get an error message or if you get where the screen goes black, just continue with the MCQ because in the background, it is still working. Now, on a quiz with the assessments, you can select the correct answer. Remember, these questions are randomized, so you and somebody else will not get the same questions. You click on next, and you answer the second one before you continue. Now, as you can see here, you can't go back. So remember, questions are randomized and it's sequential. You have to answer each question before you proceed to the next one. So you just proceed through all the questions, making sure you select for each one the correct answer. And then finally, you'll get to this final question where you can select finish attempt. You'll also notice here at the top, it will give you a time, how much time is left. All in the background, it will still be taking pictures randomly as well. So with this, you just click on finish attempt, you submit all and finish. Remember, if you forget to click on the submit all and finish, when the time runs out, everything that you've submitted will be submitted automatically. And this is also if you lose connectivity during the session, maybe you need to connect to a new network, you have to log back in. You will continue from the question that you finished because it saves all the questions as you progress through the exam. So finally, I'll click on submit all and finish, confirm with this pop-up. On smaller screens, if you're going to be using your phone, test it out with the mock exam. Make sure that this pop-up is clearly visible. Sometimes you just have to zoom the page out of it. But just know if it doesn't give you errors of submitting, everything is submitted automatically once the time runs out as well. So basically, as you can see, that's for Moodle proctoring. It's very easy. All you need is a device with a camera. And remember, it's the device that you will be using for the quiz. So you can't have the camera on a different device, it does use the same device as is built into Moodle for myExams. Now, just get this page open. So that brings us now to the second type of assessment that you might be having on your on the day, and that will be the Invigilator app. So remember, Invigilator app is a third-party software. It's only used for take-home exams. So it's only for written exams. So where you're going to type it out or write it out by hand. You need to download the Invigilator app on your smartphone. It only works on your phone. It runs on your smartphone while you write the exam. I generally recommend, if you can, have 2 devices. They will show the built-in browser with the Invigilator app, but to make your life easy, download the question paper and submit it, your answers to myExams on, say, your laptop, while you have the Invigilator app dedicated to run on your smartphone next to you. Now, also, I want you to take this down as well before we even get started, is the support number. Remember, if you have problems with the Invigilator app, UNISA will not be able to assist you. You need to contact WhatsApp this number that's on the screen. Now, also remember, if you have problems with myExams again, then you can contact UNISA student support. But for the app itself, they've got their own dedicated support team. But for this section, I will hand over to Erica. She's from the Invigilator app, and she will guide you through to get ready with the Invigilator app. Thank you, Erica.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As Richard mentioned, my name is Erica from the Invigilator app, and I'm going to just take you through a few things that you need to know about the Invigilator app. Let me just quickly get this page ready. All right, so I just briefly want to run you through the different functionalities of the app so that you understand what will be happening while it is invigilating you. So top left-hand side, when you register on the app for the first time, you'll be asked to take a master selfie. And for that master selfie, please make sure that we can see your facial features clearly. So no hoodie, no hat, no sunglasses, no mask. And then during the course of an assessment, you'll be asked to take selfies again. And we use artificial intelligence to compare these photos and make sure that it is the correct student writing the test. Then just below that, the app will also require of you to upload your script to the app. Now, guys, very important, this does not replace your upload to UNISA. So you need to upload your script to UNISA as well as to the app. So that is compulsory. You will notice that when the timer runs out, so when the invigilation stops, you are given 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, you must take a photo of each of your answer sheets. That 10 minutes is extremely time sensitive. If you don't take the photos, then there is no script to upload. But once you've taken the photos, you then have 48 hours to upload your data to the Invigilator app. Then below that, out of app time. So it is extremely important that you do not minimize or close the app at any point during the invigilation. That out of app time is monitored, and if you exceed a certain amount of minutes, it is seen as a transgression. So please make sure that the app is running in the foreground of your smartphone the entire time. Then in the middle at the top, voice recordings. So we'll also be performing randomized audio recordings, and the purpose of these recordings are to detect human speech. So more specifically, if you are discussing the content of the test with someone else. So some students are concerned, they might read out questions out loud to themselves, or they're worried that maybe a sibling comes into the room and asks them a question. You don't need to worry about any of that. Remember, all of these audio recordings are listened to, and it's only when the content of the test is being discussed that that is seen as a transgression. Then, guys, just below that, customize instructions. So you will have other photo prompts as well. And so it is really important that you have some form of identification with you, whether it is an ID card, a student card, a driver's license, it doesn't really matter, because you will be asked to take a photo of that. Then just below that, the GPS location mapping. So we determine what your GPS location is while you are writing the test. And the reason we do that is to search for instances where students are writing in very close proximity of each other. Now, let me reassure you, a GPS failure in itself is not a transgression, because we do know often students write in student accommodation or in a library. But what we do is we prepare a report for your lecturer in which we indicate which students were really close to each other when they wrote the test, and those scripts are then marked directly after each other, and the lecturer is on the lookout for any possible copying that might have taken place. Then, guys, for those of you who have two devices, in other words, you have a laptop and you also have a smartphone, we recommend that you access your assessment on your laptop and that you use your smartphone purely for invigilation purposes. However, if you only have one device, so you only have a smartphone, you don't have a laptop, you obviously need to be able to not just be invigilated by your phone, but you also need to be able to access your assessment. And for you, we have a built-in browser. So once you've scanned the QR code, you will see that you can access UNISA's LMS, and you can log in and you can navigate yourself to your assessment while you are still being invigilated. It is important that you don't try and access your UNISA profile outside of the app, because that obviously is seen as out of app time. So you should use our built-in browser. Right, so that then just in a nutshell was the different functionalities of the app. I just quickly want to go through the other information that you also have. So on your AdHof site, under lesson 3, where the proctoring tools are discussed, you will find a tile for the Invigilator app. So let's click on that. And I just want to take you through a few things here. So just a reminder that you cannot download the Invigilator app on your PC. The product that UNISA is using is the smartphone app. If you download it on your PC, you will not be able to use it, right? So on your smartphone, please download the app either at the Google Play, the Apple App Store, or the Huawei App Gallery. You're then going to go through a registration process. You need two things for the registration. You need your student number and your MyLife email address. So not a personal email address. It is your UNISA MyLife email address. Then we have a 7.5-minute video here that you can watch. I recommend that you do watch it. It explains the student experience in a very nice visual way for you. And then very important, just below the video, you will see that there is a link to your student user guide. So what I recommend if you're a first-time user is that when you get ready to download the app, open up the student user guide as well. And if you get stuck in any of the steps, you can then just refer back to the student user guide for assistance. For those of you who have used the app before, we do recommend that you update your app and that you do the demo in the student user guide, as we have made quite a lot of changes on the app. So we just want to double check that your phone is still compatible with the app. So for new and for previous users, guys, on page 8 of the student user guide, there is a QR code. And if you scan that QR code, it's going to take you through an 8-minute simulation of exactly what the app is going to be doing while it is invigilating you. So the app is really user-friendly. However, it is new technology and you have to play around with it a little bit. So by doing this demo, you get to experience what the app is going to be doing, but you're not actually in a test environment. And then Richard has mentioned this as well, but I just want to highlight the fact that we have a WhatsApp help desk, and here is the number. It's also available in the student user guide. So guys, if you struggle with the app in any way, doesn't matter what, whether you are struggling to download, getting an error message, even if you struggle on the day of a test, please send a WhatsApp to our help desk. Do not reach out to your lecturer because they will be unable to assist you. And then finally, just remember that this is a WhatsApp help desk only, so you cannot call the number, but you can WhatsApp us a video, a screenshot, a voice note of exactly what you are struggling with. And then just right at the bottom, you can also do the mock exam with the Invigilator app, so I strongly recommend that as well. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from my side. From the Invigilator app side, we wish you the best of luck for your upcoming exams. We hope it goes really well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erica. The students, I just quickly want to highlight some of the things mentioned by Erica, and that is for the steps on the day. So remember, 15 minutes before your exam, you can already log into the exams portal. The exams open, so you can actually download the question paper. You can get the QR code for the question paper. You can scan the QR code with the Invigilator app, and you then start your assessment. Just note 30 minutes after the start time, so say that it's 10 o'clock, then it's 10:30, you will not be able to scan the QR code to start the invigilation. This is considered being late for the exams. Now, during this session, remember the app must be running on your phone, the main app running. The camera does not need to face you. You simply follow the prompts, you put your phone down. If the screen goes black, that's not a problem, as long as it's the main app running on your phone. Remember, if you get interruptions during this time, as mentioned, do not worry about it. Somebody will still listen to the audio to see if any content material was discussed. Now, I just want to highlight here, if you finish before the due time, so say this is 12 o'clock when you have to submit. If you finish before that time, what you do is save your document as a PDF if you've written it in Word, or you scan it into a PDF if you've written it out by hand, and then you upload it to myExams. Then in the Invigilator app, after you upload it, you say finish assessment, and it will ask you to scan your script as well. So you take your phone, you take pictures of each page that you've written. If you've written it in Microsoft Word, just scroll through and make sure you capture all the text. Now, and then you can finish and start the upload process. So this is if you finish before 12 o'clock. Let's say the app prompts you ran out of time, you have to submit. Now, what I recommend is, since you only get that 10 minutes on the Invigilator app, do the upload first. So take pictures of everything you've written. You click on the Start Upload button. Again, you just put your phone next to you, the upload in the background, and then you save your document as a PDF or scan it in as a PDF and submit it on myExams. So remember, you get 10 minutes for submitting on the Invigilator app or to start the upload process, and 30 minutes on myExams. So remember, it's not 40 minutes in total, it's 30 after the exam. So that is 12:30, for instance. Now, just make sure what you submit on the Invigilator app is exactly the same as what you submit on myExams. That's why you have to take pictures of your script to make sure that it's the exact same content. So do not at any time during this period do any changes to what you have written. So I just want to highlight as well, if you go to the Invigilator app section at the bottom, here we've got the mock exam. Really take this mock exam like you would do your assessment on the day. Read the instructions, download the question paper at the bottom, answer that questions, say writing it out or in Microsoft Word. You scan the QR code, you start the invigilation process. So once you're ready, you save your document as a PDF, and then you come and add a submission to the mock exam. So what you would do is acknowledge that this is your own work, You'll make sure that the file size is smaller than what is displayed. Usually it's quite big. Make sure also the maximum number of files you can upload. Generally, this is 1. So you need to have 1 PDF document. But at the bottom, it will display what type of documents you can upload. So some modules do allow for Word documents, but the safest route is always to upload a PDF document. So once you uploaded your document, you just click on Save Changes, as you did with your assignments. But I do recommend scroll down and click on the file that you submitted. Make sure that you submitted the correct file. Sometimes in the haste of submitting, you might have selected the incorrect file. So come and do the mock exam and make sure that you're familiar with the entire process. That brings us to the last invigilation. So currently this is only used by the College of Science, Engineering, Technology. So just make a note of that. If you're not within the College of Science, Engineering, Technology, you will not be using IRIS invigilation. Now, where the Invigilator app only runs on your mobile phone, this one only works on a laptop or desktop computer. And this is a Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge extension. For this one, your computer requires a microphone and a camera or webcam. So make sure that you've got all the features. So if we look on the IRIS invigilation, we get an explanation exactly what this is. There's a video as well that guides you through how to set this up and how to use it. What I really recommend is also using the official IRIS website. So this is also a third-party software that UNISA is utilizing, and they actually have a website where they also give instructions on how to install it and also some frequently asked questions. If you go to the bottom, you can easily search for perhaps any errors you receive to make sure that you've got all the information. But from here, you can view the instructions, or you can click on your browser type to install the plugin to your browser. So I've already installed it, so it doesn't give me the add option, but you simply click on add and it will be added to your extensions. Now, on the page, we also at the bottom have a mock exam. Remember, there are 2 types. It's for file upload, the written exams, and MCQ. Just note on MCQ, it will ask you for a password. So if you click on it, it will open up the Invigilator app. At the end, it will ask you to insert the password for this. So once you get this pop-up, you go to the Invigilator app and you say enter password. It's start attempt. If you get it again, just go to the Invigilator app, click on it, enter password, and it will populate this automatically. So remember, you're not being provided the password. The IRIS should be populating it automatically for you. I'm just quickly going to close this one. So example that I will be doing is the file upload one. So as you can see, once you access it, IRIS should pop up automatically. Now you will need to agree to the terms and conditions. You do not need to consent for the user data to use your user data. So remember, just click on the agree. The button will turn blue, and then you can continue. Now the message that you will receive for those of you that are using dual monitors, remember you can only use 1 monitor. So what you need to do here is just disable or plug out one of your monitors. So I'm just quickly going to disable it. To get back to it, make sure. Yeah. Just make sure my sharing is up and running again. Okay, so once you then go back and start the invigilation again, just close this one. You go back to the main page, open it up again. It should pop up again. You then agree to the terms and conditions, and now you will be able to select your camera. You can go select your microphone. You'll see here it will actually show you whether it's working or not. You need to insert your full name. You need to insert your student number. You need to capture your ID card. So this time you have your ID ready, your driver's license, or if you've got a UNISA access card, you can use that as well. So any form of photo identification can be used. So you capture your ID, you have it, hold it up to the camera, and then you just click on Capture ID. Just make sure it's clearly readable. For the start scan, if you've got a laptop, you just move your laptop from side to side. Or if you're using a webcam, you can also just rotate it. So you click on start scan, and this is when you rotate your camera just to capture your entire environment. And then you stop the scan after that, and then you can continue. So now there will be a message that pops up to just indicate you to share your screen. So on this page, what you need to do is you select the screen, even though there is only one, and then you will be able to share. So if we go share screen, you'll see I can't click on share. I first need to still select the screen that I want to share and then share. And then we can click next. And from here, you can then start your assessment. So remember, if the quiz is asking you for a password, this is where you can click on insert password. So it will populate the password for you. But otherwise, what you can do is then minimize this. And then you can basically go download the question paper. Or if it's a quiz, you continue with answering all the questions. Once you are done, or once it prompts you that you have to submit, you come back, you submit on myExams, as you did, we showed with the Invigilator app. And then you go back to the iris invigilation. And then from here, you can then say finish recording. So you'll even have to slide over to make sure that you are ready. Click yes. And then it will start the upload process. So remember, this one, once the time runs out, we'll tell you you have to now start the upload process. You then afterwards, you just start it and submit on myExams as well. If you finish early, you just say finish assessment, and then it will start the upload process. So just make sure that everything is successfully uploaded. It will show you a green tick mark as well. And from here, you can then close it. So you don't click on minimize again. You actually, once you've got everything successfully submitted, you just close your browser. So that's basically the Invigilator app. I'm just going to put the presentation again. So remember, there are three types of proctoring tools. There's Moodle proctoring that uses your camera. Invigilator app, that's an app running on your mobile device. We've got iris invigilation, only used by the College of Science Engineering Technology. And this one captures your screen, audio, and video the entire time. So make sure if you're going to be using iris invigilation as well, to only have two tabs open. And that one will be the one where you download your question paper and upload it, or where you complete the quiz. And the other one would be My Life email that's allowed for in case you need any assistance during the exams for technical support. Now, we do have some recommendations for devices. So remember, we always say access to, so you can even borrow a device. But preferably for smartphones now older than 5 years, it's updated to the latest operating system, got access to the internet, has space for the proctoring tools and any of the pictures or any other data that it needs to store, and it's got a working camera, microphone, and sound. And then for desktops, remember, if you're going to be using, for instance, Iris, make sure it's at least got Windows 10, it's updated, it's got access to the internet. You can run productivity products such as Microsoft Office very well on it. You've got the latest browser for Chrome or Edge, and it's got a working camera if you're using Moodle proctoring. But for Iris, you need a working camera, microphone, sound as well. And then for both, you will need internet connectivity. As we mentioned, go do the mock exams. They are available there to really give you a simulation of what it will be like on the examination day. And once you tested these tools, you'll actually see how easy it is to use them, so that you can rather focus on learning your support material or the study material for the exams. So what happens if you do perhaps have any questions on the day or any technical problems? That's where the Student Support Contact Center comes into play. And I think if I have a look just quickly, Jessie will be presenting today for the Student Support Contact Center. So for this section, I'll hand over to Jessie.
Thank you, Richard. Good morning, students. Just sharing our presentation. My name is Jessie Sefulu, the Deputy Director for the Contact Center, and we are here to assist and clarify on how to engage with us when you want to contact the Contact Center. It is important that as a student that is writing an exam, you choose the correct option, which is the option number 4 of our contact number 0800. That option will direct you to the consultants that are skilled on how to support you to write your exam. We've also ring-fenced the exam inquiries for the contact center so that we are able to expedite your inquiries that are coming through. When we have high volumes in the contact center, it is important that the students also know that we have a web chat, which is a live chat via our corporate page. It's on your myExam portal as well. It's a blue bubble at the bottom. There you will find and be able to chat with a student live to be able to be assisted during your exam. What we need from you, if you are emailing us, email us from your MyLife account, because that account already has your student number attached to it. Put in your contact details on how you want us to reach you back, a brief description of your problem or a challenge with a screenshot where it's necessary. Please remember to always utilize your MyLife account, except when you are a student that is struggling with the MFA inquiries, because then you won't be able to access your MyLife via your MyLife account. Also on the option of the calls, there's an option 2, which is a Help My Life section, where we have technical staff that can assist you in quickly getting assistance with your MFA inquiries. For escalation of inquiries, if you are not getting help, we have a supervisor that manages escalation. If you follow your process and you take guidance on everything that has been shared with you in this platform today, you might not have to use these escalation paths, but we are here to assist you. There's a supervisor for escalation, there's a 2 line managers, and then there's myself. This is to make sure that we do not put you into a further crisis or panic mode as you are writing your exam. When you're calling or engaging with us via any platform, make sure that you ask for a case number, especially on the phones, because it's not automated. Ask for a case number so that when you are escalating and you want to take your matter further, you have a case number that is linked to you contacting the contact center for assistance. I would pause there. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Jessie. So please make sure that you have these contact numbers saved for on the day if you need them. You've got quick access to them. Remember, if you're also calling in, to select the correct option, because they do, how can I say, prioritize exam-related questions. So just make note to always include your student number as mentioned as well, with any correspondence with the university, and you use your MyLife email address. So that brings us for what happens if you have any special needs. So for that, we've got the Oxford Centre, but for these special exams, you do need to apply for. So please listen up exactly what you need to do in the future if you need to apply for any special exams. Unfortunately, Pintias could not join us today, but he has sent through a recording that we will play to you now.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, fellow students. My name is Pintias Nkuna, as stated by our program director, Mr. Wright. Today I'll talk to you about services for students with disabilities. The Advocacy and Resource Center for Students with Disabilities, which is a unit within the Department of Student Affairs, was established to provide just for the needs of students with diverse disabilities. The purpose of my presentation today is to give you more information on reasonable accommodation and also the online examination for students with diverse disabilities. And also that students with disabilities are not inferior to non-disabled students. And the acknowledgement of diversity by recognizing that students with disabilities have different but equally valued learning needs. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 exposed the need for students with disabilities to have access to technology in order to write their online examinations. By disclosing a disability during the application period, this increases your chances of placement by the university. The university takes disability serious. Then if you disclose your disability at the point of application and you meet the requirements of the qualification, you are immediately placed. You are not put on the waiting list. Students are also assisted with application for bursaries for students with disabilities, which caters for their tuition fees, prescribed books, assistive devices. And I must emphasize that these assistive devices could make your studies easier and also enable you to write your online exams easy. The bursary has an allocation of 50,000 rands for an assistive device, and again 50,000 rands for human support. One may ask, what is this human support? Students with disabilities, from time to time, they need assistance from a third party. It could be maybe if you are blind, you need somebody to collect a particular material for you or to convert. Then you can use this money to assist to pay the person, or including if you are deaf, you may require sign language interpretation services. You can use this 50,000 rands to fund for the service that you received. And we also have a 2,000 rands allocation, which is a once-off for medical assessment. This is done because from time to time, when you require services from the university, we'll require a proof of your disability. Not because we are taking you back to the medical model, but because we don't see our students face to face, we therefore need the confirmation in a form of a medical certificate. Students who complete special assistance form at the point of registration are also able to receive their accessible study material, which is relevant to their disability, in order to prepare adequately for their exams. This includes your braille material, large print, audio, etc. At the point of registration, students with print disabilities can request prescribed books in electronic formats to study using their assistive devices or laptops with screen readers or text magnification softwares, such as Zoom Text, JAWS, or NVDA. One may ask, what is print disability? These are students who are unable to study using printed material. This could be blind students, students who are complete quadriplegic, students with learning disabilities, just to mention a few. And in terms of special examination arrangements, I'd like to emphasize that students with disabilities are exempted from proctoring for this exam period. Only those who disclose their status at the point of registration. If you have a disability but you did not disclose, you are therefore not exempted from proctoring. And again, I must emphasize that when you disclose your disability, we need a medical certificate to confirm this. And the reason for exempting students with disabilities from proctoring is not because they are lesser beings, but as part of reasonable accommodation. To give an example, the Invigilator app from time to time may require a student to take a selfie or take a picture of their script. If you are blind, you won't be able to take a selfie. And again, another example, if a student is deaf, there'll be a prompt in between whereby it will be in a form of a sound. The deaf student cannot hear that. That, just to give an example, that's why students with disabilities are exempted from this. And again, ladies and gentlemen, for students who require special examination arrangements, it is important to apply. These services is not automatic because you may present the same disability only to find that your needs are different. Just to give an example, a student who was born blind and a person who acquired blindness later in their lives, the amount of extra time that they will need will differ. Or again, a person who's paraplegic, depending on the level of the paraplegia, their needs will also differ. Students who qualify for special examination arrangements or who can apply for special examination arrangements are students with different disabilities or special needs or those with medical conditions, as we don't discriminate to accommodate diversity. How to apply for special examination arrangements? You need to complete a form, and this particular form then must be taken to a medical doctor just to confirm and also motivate, whereby we need to provide an extended support to you. And one may ask, is the extra time similar for all students? No. The extra time will depend on the severity of your disability. And again, the university provides alternative assessment in cases whereby the prescribed assessment does not accommodate your disability, only to qualifying students with disabilities. One may ask, do I apply every year for special examination arrangements? The answer is no. You only confirm once a year. And in cases whereby your disability deteriorate or progress, you'll have to reapply. Just to give an example in this one again, in cases this year, you are partially sighted and your disability progress to complete blindness, then your needs will completely differ. Therefore, you should apply so that you can provide the required support. And for students who will struggle with their screen readers during exams, please make sure that you send an email to examdisabled@unisa.ac.za, and also please copy the lecture there so that we can facilitate the provision of an accessible question paper. And in case if you fall sick during exams, please follow the standard procedure to apply for AgroTax. What do I do? Should I acquire a disability before exam? It is important that you inform the university of your needs. We don't wish to defer a student because they've acquired a disability before exams. If you are ready to sit for the exam and you acquired a disability, please inform us so that we can adjust and accommodate you. The confirmation letter for students who applied for special examination arrangements will only be sent to the MyLife email address. As Mr. Kaka earlier said, that's the only email that we recognize as UNISA. While we provided students with study material in Braille and large print, it must be emphasized that for this particular exam, students will not be able to write their exams using Braille. They can write their exams using their laptop with JAWS or NVDA. The Braille material was only provided to you to ensure that you are adequately prepared for your exams. We encourage you to please try to test your system, your technology, in particular for students who receive their access technology during this semester. Please make sure that it functions very well. And to our deaf students, we are quite aware that certain students who are deaf, in particular those who are born deaf, they write using the SMS language. We encourage them to write in full. Axfit encourages students not to conceal their disability, because while we respect students' right to disclose or not to disclose their disability, if a student does not disclose their disability, they may not receive or demand reasonable accommodation from the university, because we will not be aware of your individual needs. Ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize that disability can be acquired by anyone, anytime. And disability is everyone's responsibility. As a student, wherever you are, if you don't yet have a disability, it's always important to treat those with disability with the respect and dignity that they richly deserve, because you may also acquire a disability at a later stage. And disabilities are both visible and invisible, and UNISA accommodates all these disabilities. Don't say because mine is not visible, I cannot disclose. Please do disclose so that we can accommodate you. And the university may not discriminate against any students with disability. As I said earlier, disabilities comes differently. There are those who are inborn, hereditary, and are those disabilities that can be acquired like through accidents, gunshots, step wounds, diving in a swimming pool. Ladies and gentlemen, never refer to a person with a disability. Don't say they're blind, the paraplegic, the deaf. Refer to the person with using the names that were given by their parents. I urge all students to join hands against the prejudice that constitute the biggest barrier against students with disabilities. And ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the best with your exams. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with a quote by Thomas Edison. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. I thank you.
So students, please make contact with the Oxford Center if you need any additional support, and they will be able to assist you. So finally on our program, we've got, I'm going to paste in the chat, please complete the post assessment. It's also available if you're watching on the support site. The link is at the bottom. Please complete this as enable us to see areas where we perhaps can improve in the future, so make sure that you've got all the required information. So we're going to end off this session with Lwazi, the online assistant. So for any questions relating to the exams, you can make use of the online assistant. But if it's anything critical, remember to always verify with the Student Support Contact Center. For this, I will let Lwazi, our humanoid robot, introduce you to the online service.
I am extremely excited to introduce you to a brand new feature that has been developed to further support you in your academic journey, our online myExams Assistant Chat. Our online assistant chat is a virtual space where you can ask questions, seek guidance, and receive support for all your exam needs. Whether you're struggling with a specific topic, Need help preparing for an exam, or simply looking for advice on how to manage your time effectively? Our online assistant chat is here to assist you. Accessing and using the online assistant chat is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Simply visit the ADOVH site and click on the Hidden Exam Question button at the bottom right, and start typing your question. Me, as your AI-powered assistant, will then provide you with the information you need in real time. I strongly encourage all of you to take advantage of this fantastic resource. It is a convenient and effective way to get the support you need, whenever you need it. And don't worry, my online assistant chat is designed to be user-friendly and accessible to everyone, regardless of your level of technical expertise. So, what are you waiting for? Give it a try and see how my online assistant chat can help you achieve academic success. Remember, we are here to support you every step of the way, and together, we can overcome any challenges that come our way. Thank you and best of luck with your exams.
So students, that brings us to the end of today's program. Please make use of the support site. The link is available again on the page. But do the mock exams so that you know you're technically prepared for the exams, and then you can really just focus on studying your course material. So with that, I want to say all the best with your exams. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.